Good evening, I'm Bernadette Wilson, and I'm sure that you are all just as happy to see me as I am happy to see you. What cowardly behavior from all of you to sit up on that dais, tell the citizens of Anchorage tonight who's going to be their acting mayor, and then run and go hide as you take your vote. I'm not talking legally or not legally. Every single one of you sits up here and puts your names on fundraising flyers and puts your endorsements out for Congress and Senate and school board and who you're going to endorse for mayor in April. And yet you run and hide when it comes to telling the people of Anchorage who you support right now for mayor. What cowards! I don't care what's legally allowed or not. Think about that. For you to continually step up and say constantly who you're going to support for Congress and everything else, and then you got to go run and hide as you decide who's going to be mayor tonight. And isn't it interesting that all the people that have been showing up to testify, the assembly chambers are full tonight, the overflow is full tonight, you got people outside that want in. You know what's changed since June? The tyranny that's been happening up here on this dais by nearly all of you. Not quite. Thank you. It is despicable. So they're locked out, and then the first person that gets up here has prepared notes to congratulate you. Ladies and gentlemen, that's AstroTurf. That is the very definition of AstroTurf. And I don't want to hear about a special election. You're concerned about the money. If there's one thing residents in this town know, it's that you don't give a damn about any money that's spent, let alone a measly $350,000, give me a break. And you're the ones that changed it to mail-in voting. So don't tell me about the cost. The cost because we've got to mail out all these ballots. You incurred that cost yourself. And if you have nothing to hide, then let the public come back in here. Let them talk. And have that special election. But I'll tell you right now, if any of us had to hazard to guess, you don't want to have a special election. You'd be content to stay mayor till July, and quite frankly, your colleagues would be just fine with that. It would fit right along with your tyrannical attitude that you have brought to this municipality. And just like you don't want them to come in and testify, just like you want to tell them that they can't walk into their business and operate the way they should be, just like you want to tell them that their kids can't go to school, we know darn well you don't want to give them a chance to vote. And don't you dare tell somebody with disabilities that they can testify on phone. You know what? You could also get your groceries by somebody delivering them. This is ridiculous, and you are cowards.
One, how has this affected your business being on lockdown? And two, maybe three. And do you know of others that this has affected your business? And three, how has it affected your children with school?
I work in an industry where we service all different industries. So we work with construction companies, we work with restaurants, we work with entertainment facilities, ice rinks, axe throwing places, private schools, coffee shops. We work with a broad range of different businesses, and I will tell you it's had devastating effects. We have customers that have not made the news at all, but businesses that will not reopen. There are businesses that would typically have a level of service, and they are down to maybe a tenth of that. So that obviously has had a huge domino effect on us with the businesses that are closing and the mandates that have been put in place and the restrictions. As far as my children go, I will tell you it has been definitely challenging for sure. I think that who it's been the most challenging is for my friends' children. I am fortunate enough that my kids can attend a private school. It's interesting, the private schools are all going to school regular. And so it's incredible that the private schools have been able to make this happen. Who's been devastated is several of my friends' children who are low income. They live over in East Anchorage, and they don't have the money. I mean, I know single moms that are working 2 jobs. They don't have the money to hire a private tutor. They don't have the money to send their children to a private school. And they hardly have time to even make sure that they were doing their Zoom classes. I mean, you talk about an income disparity. When I share that frustration with you, That frustration comes from me because of my friends and their children that I care so much about. It's not because it's affected my kids. My kids are lucky enough they've been able to go to school. It's the low-income kids that are being discriminated against right now. And so it's incredible that the private schools have been able to make this happen. Who's been devastated is several of my friends' children who are low income. They live over in East Anchorage, and they don't have the money. I mean, I know single moms that are working 2 jobs. They don't have the money to hire a private tutor. They don't have the money to send their children to a private school, and they hardly have time to even make sure that they were doing their Zoom classes. I mean, you talk about an income disparity. When I share that frustration with you, that frustration comes from me because of my friends and their children that I care so much about. It's not because it's affected my kids. My kids are lucky enough they've been able to go to school. It's the low-income kids that are being discriminated against right now.
Thank you.